Hello, welcome to American Baker in Germany. I'm Michelle, and today we are continuing our bread baking series by talking about how to make a braided loaf. Let's get started.
We start out with our ingredients. We need 1 cup or 250 milliliters of warm milk, about body temperature, half a block or 20 grams of live yeast or a half a tablespoon of dry yeast, a third of a cup or 75 grams of sugar, 1 egg, 1.5 teaspoons sea salt or 1 teaspoon salt, 4 cups or 500 grams of flour, a quarter cup or 60 grams of butter, 2 tablespoons coarse sugar, which is optional. Begin by pouring the warm milk into a large mixing bowl. Add the yeast and the sugar. Stir until dissolved. Beat the egg briefly and add about half of it to the milk mixture. Keep the other half in the fridge until you need it. Stir that through. Then add the salt to the flour. You don't want the salt to come in contact with the yeast. Then add the flour and salt mixture to the milk mixture. Stir it through until you can't anymore. Turn it out onto a clean surface and knead it into the dough. Knead it together until your dough is soft but not sticky. Then add the butter a tablespoon at a time and knead it into the dough. This is what makes the dough soft and rich and keeps it from drying out. It can be a bit difficult to knead the butter in, but just keep going until each tablespoon is completely incorporated. This can take a while. Be patient. The butter will eventually combine with the dough and give you a lovely smooth dough. After all the butter has been kneaded in, put the dough in a bowl and cover it and allow it to rise until it doubles in size, about an hour. After the dough has risen, punch it down, turn it out onto your surface, and knead it briefly. Then split it into 3 relatively even pieces. These don't have to be perfect, so try not to stress about it too much. Then roll each ball into a thick snake. You want them to be about as long as your baking tray. Then move them all to a parchment-lined baking tray. Pinch the snakes together at the top and braid them together. If you don't know how to braid, you take the strand on the outside and move it to the middle, alternating sides. Then pinch the snakes at the bottom too. Now cover this and allow it to rise for about half an hour. After it's risen, get that half an egg out of the fridge and paint it onto the braid. This will help the bread to brown without drying out too much. Then sprinkle the top with coarse sugar. This step is optional but gives a lovely sweet crunch to the bread. I'm using German brown sugar for this, but any kind of coarse sugar should be fine. Bake it at 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius for about 25 minutes. If yours is browning too much, cover it with tin foil for the last 10 minutes. Here's the finished product. It looks a lot darker in the video than in real life for some reason, but it really turned out perfect. Here's me cutting into it. Actually, this way of cutting is slightly unnatural. It was easier to just pull apart. But this is the result. This bread is soft and lovely. The crust gives it just a bit of sweet crunch on the outside. It's really pleasant to eat. I hope you enjoyed the recipe today. For more recipes and tutorials, visit our website at AmericanBakerInGermany.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe for more recipes.